Hello, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Clarity with Grace. Uh, Always a pleasure to have each and every one of you on. Always glad that you're here. First of all, I want to say Happy Memorial Day. Thank you to all the veterans who risked their lives and fought for us. Thank you for those veterans who are still with us, and thank you for your service. I believe Miss Tanya is that's on this call is a veteran. So Miss Tanya, thank you for your service. To my business partner, my best friend, Mr. Antonio T. Smith Jr., thank you for your service. Thank you for all your service, uh, for those who are veterans, and those who are still serving. All right. I always start off like this, so I'm going to start again like this. This is not a webinar. This is not a training. This is not a sales call. This is our table. This is one place each week where we could slow down, tell the truth, and talk honestly about what it looks like to build drip funnels and build our businesses with clarity, steadiness, and peace. Before I get started with what's going on today and what I've uh, been doing last week, I came upon someone filled out the registration form recently, and I never mentioned anybody's names because I never want anybody to feel embarrassed. There's nothing to feel embarrassed about, but people may not want to, want to be anonymous. So in the prayer request or words of encouragement request section, the person said, "I feel disconnection in the planet. We should be coming together, not opposing each other. The world and its people need healing." And I just wanted to address that before we get started so that the person know that I did see your request. And I want to say thank you for sharing that. And I also hear your heart and agree that the world needs healing, compassion, and more people willing to come together instead of pulling things further apart. And so, with that, my prayer for you is that God gives you peace as you carry that concern, and that He reminds you that even when the world feels divided, love is still powerful. I pray that God strengthens your heart, keeps you from becoming overwhelmed by the heaviness that you do see in the world, and that He helps you continue to be the person who brings that light, unity, and healing into the spaces that you touch. Because sometimes healing starts with one heart, one conversation, and one act of kindness, and that one person choosing not to add more division, and that is you. Um, Also, your concern shows that your heart is still soft, and that definitely matters. I do also pray for peace over you, healing over our world, and more love, understanding, and unity among our people. Um, there's only one race, and that's the human race. And so just wanted to give you that prayer and words of encouragement for the person who filled out that section. Now, as we get started today, I want to talk about something very personal, as I always do, because this call, there's no judgment. We all sit at the table and we all share what we are dealing with and going through in our businesses, as well as personally, if that's what you decide to do. Last week, actually yesterday, my business partner sat me down and told me the truth, like he always does. He told me that being invisible has become so much a part of my identity that if I become a billionaire tech CEO today and stop being invisible, I may not know who I am. He was right. Of course, when somebody tells you the truth, it's not easy to hear. So that wasn't easy to hear. But sometimes the truth that shakes you is the truth that wakes you up. And that woke me up yesterday. So today, I want to talk about what happens when the future you are called to carry is bigger than the identity you've been living from. Sometimes the issue isn't that you don't have the vision. Sometimes the issue is that your old identity cannot hold your future. And so on this call, I always like to share four things with you: what I'm seeing, what I'm learning, what I'm wrestling with, and what I'm appreciating. So we're going to jump right in. What I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is, again, Antonio was right. Okay. I've been invisible for so long that invisibility has started to feel normal. And it has. Okay. And it's not because I don't have something to say or that I don't have leadership in me. Because if I didn't have leadership in me, I wouldn't have become CEO. And it's not because I don't believe in drift funnels. I absolutely believe in drift funnels. The reason is because I've been behind the scenes for so much and for so long, so much of my life that stepping forward, it still feels uncomfortable. It does. And I'm seeing that I shrink when it is time to lead. That is the truth. When it's time to be visible, something in me wants to step back all the time. Okay. When it's time to speak clearly, something in me wants to soften it, and I do. And then also when it's time to lead publicly, something in me wants to make sure everybody else is okay first. And I do these things all the time. And I'm seeing that I can't keep calling that humility when some of it, or most of it, or all of it is fear. Shrinking is not the same as serving. And then hiding is not the same as being humble. And then also being behind the scenes is not the same thing as being obedient to the assignment that's in front of me. So that is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that the next version of me cannot stay hidden. And my business partner tells me this all the time. Hey, can't hide anymore. You gotta step out front. This is what I'm learning. What I'm learning is that billionaire CEOs do not shrink. Now, these CEOs, they may feel fear, but they don't let fear make the final decision. They can feel pressure, but they don't disappear under the pressure. And then they may care about people, but they don't abandon their assignment trying to make everyone else feel comfortable. Billionaire CEOs do not do that. And so I'm learning that I have to lead even when I'm afraid. I can't do it. I can't lead after the fear goes away. I can't do it after I feel perfectly confident. And I can't do it after I have everything figured out. I have to lead while I am becoming the billionaire's tech CEO. I can't become the woman who carries a billionaire level company while still behaving like the woman who hopes nobody notices her. That sentence has been sitting with me since yesterday. And so I wanted to let y'all know today. I also can't carry a visible assignment with an invisible identity. Can't do that at all. I also can't build drip funnels into what it's supposed to be while still hiding from the responsibility of being seen. That makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all. So I'm also learning that shrinking is fear. It is. Shrinking is fear. And I know you're probably saying, duh, but hey, when you shrunk for so long, hey, again, it becomes normal. So that shrinking, it can look quiet and it can look safe and polite, and it may even look selfless. But when that shrinking keeps me from leading, then it's fear. And my old identity cannot hold my future. So uh, the woman I was had reasons for hiding, but the woman I'm becoming has reasons to step forward. So this is what I'm learning. Moving to what I'm wrestling with. What I'm wrestling with is how natural it feels for me to do things for other people, but how unnatural it can feel to think about doing something for myself. And that's a lot. It's kind of all the time. So these things I know to do. I know how to support. I know how to help. I know how to serve. And I know how to build behind someone else and also how to make sure other people are okay. But then sometimes I do all of that and forget that I have a calling too. It's easy to forget those things when you're behind the scenes and helping others. And so come to realize, hey, Grace, you got a company too. You have a voice. You have a seat to take up too. And then you also have an assignment to carry out as well. And so I'm wrestling with the fact that sometimes I love others in a way that makes me disappear. And yeah, that was a little hard to admit, but I'm growing. So uh loving people is good. And none of this, it's not bad. Loving people is good. Serving people is good. And helping people is good as well. But if I use service as a way to avoid visibility, then I have to tell the truth about that. And so I've been behind the scenes so much that I'm still learning how to stand out front. Um, it's tough, but I'm as I keep going bit by bit and keep, knocking those things out, doing certain things, then I know it'll become easier for me. I'm still learning how to be seen without apologizing for it, how to lead without shrinking, and I'm learning how to become the visible CEO that Drift Funnels requires. Okay. Business partner told me, hey, it's you out there, you the face. So you gotta, hey, come on, let's go. And so it may be uncomfortable, but becoming is often uncomfortable. We all know that when you have to stretch yourself, stretching is not comfortable. It's uncomfortable. And so you have to continue to do it until it becomes comfortable. So that's what I'm wrestling with. Lastly, what I'm appreciating. What I am appreciating is that I have a business partner who tells me the truth all the time, straight with no chaser. He doesn't tell me what I want to hear or what makes me comfortable or what allows me to stay hidden. Tells me the honest, God honest truth. And for that, I am grateful. A lot of times when we hear the truth, we don't like it. But when you sit back and reflect, you're grateful for it. And I wouldn't have it any other way. When someone truly wants to see you win, they won't let you keep shrinking and call it safety. They won't let you hide behind service or hide behind preparation or hide behind being helpful. I'm telling y'all, yesterday he called me out, y'all. And I was just sitting there looking at him, just taking it. I was like, oh my God, okay, he's right. And also they won't let you stay visible when your assignment requires visibility. And so I appreciate having that business partner who only wants to see me win and continue improving. I got somebody who can say, Grace, you can't become a billionaire tech CEO and stay invisible. He's that person who can see the future version of me and hold me accountable to becoming that person. And if you know this guy, and you all do, this gentleman will hold you accountable. If you tell him what you want to do, it's a wrap. You better be ready because he is going to hold you accountable every single time. And I appreciate him for that. And I'm also appreciating this realization. I have to ask myself a new question from now on. What would the visible CEO version of me do next? When I feel like shrinking, I got to ask that question. What would the visible CEO version of me do next? And then I got to do it. I can't think about it forever, can't over process it, and I can't wait until I feel ready because I do all these things all the time. But I have to ask the question, answer it, and then take that step. Visibility is a practice, not just a feeling. Leadership is a practice, and CEO identity is also a practice. And every time I choose not to shrink, I strengthen the billionaire tech CEO that I am becoming. So that is what I am appreciating. And now I want to hear from you all because this is never a monologue. Okay. I tell you about the things that I'm working on and learning and seeing and all those things. But now it's your turn. I'm going to put these 4 questions in the chat one by one. And you can answer by either typing your answers in the chat or you can unmute your mic and, let us know these things. Now, I tell everyone every week, you may not have answers to these questions this week, but I always give these 4 questions this week. I mean, every week so that you can see what it is uh, if you have an answer. So here's question number 1. Here we go. What are you excited about right now? What are you excited about right now? So again, you may not have an answer. If you don't, no worries. If you do, if you want to type it in the chat, you can, or if you want to unmute your mic, you can. Totally up to you. But what are you excited about right now? All right. No one has anything right now. We'll move on to question 2. Put this in the chat. Hold on here. Here we go. What are you carrying that feels heavy? What are you carrying that feels heavy? Again, you can type these answers in the chat. I'll read them off. I won't read your name, but I'll read them off and we can talk about them. All right. Miss Tanya, I saw you unmute your mic. Did you have something?
I was actually trying to get the chat to come up on my phone, but it's being difficult.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, I just wanted to say that
Mhm.
what you said makes a lot of sense because
Mhm.
I too am that way. So I know what it's like to feel invisible, even though you feel like you're doing a lot. You're not wanting to, not necessarily not take the extra steps, but you just try to hide behind the curtain. I feel like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. So I'm hoping, thank you, Ms. Tanya, for sharing. I'm hoping that what I'm learning and things and seeing is helping you. Thank you for that. Someone put in the chat that they're carrying that feels heavy ego. Listen, been there. Still there sometimes. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me take a sip. Because this is, yes, this is big. Ego can feel heavy. Ego is heavy. And when you carry that and keep carrying that, you keep getting the things you don't want. So it's easy, what I'm about to say, to do. It is also easy not to do. But it feels like it's hard. Just let that go. You let your ego go and say, you know what? Ego and pride go hand in hand. And the reason we have ego is because of pride. So when I let my pride go and be like, you know what? Yeah, that person was right. I know. But you got to let that ego go. Okay, if your ego is a part of you, like invisibility is a part of me, you got to let that go. Because if you don't, I think you may feel like I feel. If I let my ego go, I don't know who I am. Hey, become somebody new. Become somebody who you want to be. If you want to let that ego go, if it's heavy, yeah. A lot of times, if you're carrying your kid and they start feeling heavy, you be like, oh my God, okay, you gonna put your kid down for a minute because it's heavy, because they're heavy. Your ego's the same way. If it's heavy, if it's heavy to carry, you got to put that down. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna feel a lot better. It may be hard, but you're gonna feel a lot better if you put that ego down. If it's heavy to carry. And I know it's cliche, but it's true. It is true. Ego is edging God out. If you keep doing that, you're not gonna get the blessings that you want. You keep carrying that ego, God's gonna say, "Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna give you more stuff to carry for this ego. I'm gonna give you more stuff to make this ego feel heavier." So you want to let that go. Put your pride to the side and get what it is that you want and deserve and desire. All right. Anyone else before I go on? Either question one or question two. Excuse me. Question one was, what are you excited about right now? Question two is, what are you carrying that feels heavy? Okay. I'm going to get question three ready. So if anyone has anything they want to share right now, they can do so. Hold on. Okay. If not, we'll move to question three. What are you building this week? What are you building this week? Again, you may not have an answer to this question. You may not be building anything this week, but next week when we come back, you may have begun to build something this week so that you can share for next week. All right. And then the final question, I'll get that ready here. Let's see. Uh-oh. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Question three. Someone answered, what are you building this week? Better body, focusing on health. That is always a great thing. Okay. If you're building better health, A better body, that is always good. Because summer is coming, okay? Summer is almost here. So we want to be ready, okay? We always want to be ready. We are all women on this call for this time. Today is May 25th, 2026, and there are four females on this call. So we always want to be summer body ready, okay? Uh, but focusing on your health is always good. And you want to continue to focus on your health, not just when you hit your goal. You want to continue to focus on your health because if you just stop and say, "Hey, okay, I reached my goal. Now I'm gonna go eat what I want," and you got to watch that. Hold on, go eat what you want, but in moderation, so you can maintain where you are and maintain your health. So always a great thing. Okay, last question. What do you need encouragement, prayer, or perspective on? What do you need encouragement, prayer, or perspective on? Again, as always, you may not have anything this week, but something may come up for next week. All right. I'll give it a moment. Somebody may, some of you may put something in the chat. Okay. Here. Yeah. All right. Give it like 10 more seconds. Just making sure. Okay. All right. So again, you may not have something this week, but then something will happen this week, and so you'll be ready to answer, have questions. I mean, have answers for the questions for next week. All right. So as we close, here's the sentence I want you to carry with you this week. Your old identity cannot hold your future. Your old identity cannot hold your future. That is the thought for this week. I always give a thought for the week. That's the thought for this week. Your old identity cannot hold your future. If you're called to lead, you cannot keep shrinking every time leadership requires visibility. If you're called to build, you cannot keep hiding every time the work asks you to step forward. And I'm not just talking to y'all, I'm talking to me. And if you're called to carry something bigger, which we all are, you have to become someone who can be seen carrying it. Okay. Before I go back to my closing thoughts, someone did say they had an answer for question four. What do you need encouragement, prayer, or perspective on? Prayer on unleashing our uh new identity and letting the old one go. Amen. Okay. Okay. Prayer on unleashing out our new identity and letting the old one go. God, we come to you right now, first and foremost, to say thank you. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for allowing us to see another day. And thank you for another opportunity to let others see you and us. To God, someone said their prayer, they want prayer for us unleashing our new identity and letting the old one go. And we thank you for helping us to do that right now. All we have to do is make the decision and to come to you, which is what we're doing. And you said, if we come to you and ask, then you grant us what we asked for. And so we thank you right now for unleashing our new identity and letting the old one go because we let the old one go. Thank you for bringing us to higher heights with our new identity, for becoming the people that we desire to be, that you desire for us to be. And we thank you for the encouragement of others for us to keep going and to uh, be the person we are to carry out the calling that you have for our lives. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Going back to my closing thoughts, thank you for that. This week, I want you to ask yourself, what would the visible CEO version of me do next? Or ask the question that you need to ask yourself. What would this person of me, what would this version of me do next? And then go do that. Okay. Take one visible step, make one visible decision, speak one visible truth, and lead one visible moment. not because you're fearless. You may be, but because fear does not get to be the CEO. Okay. I always want to thank you. So I'm thanking you again for being at the table with me this morning. As always, I'm grateful that we can tell the truth here. And so I want you to take one clear step today. And I will meet you back here next week at the table, same bat time, same bat channel. This is your girl Grace, and I'll see you at the top, not from the top. Everyone have a great day and a wonderful week. You're very welcome. Have a good one.